Hi friends, I think you might have gone through the previous session. We had discussion about operating activities, how to calculate net cash flows from operating activities. And today's in continuation of the class, we'll be discussing today cash flow from net cash flows from investing activities. Then we discuss today's class net cash flow from financing activities, and with that, and then we discuss overall format of preparing cash flow statement. Then then we can go from next class onwards, we can work out comprehensive problems. Is this clear to all of you? So hi friends, today's class, as I told you, we have completed in the previous session, net cash flow from operating activities. Today's class will be seeing net cash flows from investing activities. We have seen earlier that depreciation of fixed assets is adjusted to arrive at the net cash flows from operating activities together with any profit or loss on sale of fixed assets. Under indirect method, what we have seen, the depreciation was added back and profit or loss on sale of assets has been adjusted. But it should be noted that the purchase of fixed assets and the proceeds from sale of fixed assets are shown under cash flow from investing activities. I have given a note also when we were doing that in the last class. Similarly, sale and purchase of long-term investments are also shown under this heading. So today we will be looking into it, how to go for these two things in investing activities. One is fixed assets, purchase of fixed assets and sale of fixed assets. The other one is long-term investments, purchase of long-term investment and sale of long-term investment. The best way to calculate the figures needed for the cash flow statement under this heading is to prepare respective ledger accounts with available information. Like we have done that in single entry, a certain opening of planted machinery, opening of investment account, or like just like opening of an asset account to find out the inflow of the asset or outflow of the asset. That is the main reason. All necessary figures will come out from the ledger accounts. Okay. So I think this problem will give you clarity. From the following information, calculate the amount of net cash flows from investing activities. We got opening balance of plant and machinery 2016. This is closing balance of plant and machinery. Investments long term 40,000 and closing investment 1 lakh. Land 2 lakhs 1 lakh. So we got some information. Depreciation charged to plant and machinery 50,000. Plant and machinery with a book value of 60,000 was sold for 40,000 rupees. Land was sold at a profit of 60,000. No investment was sold during the year. Now, if you look into it, plant and machinery 8,50,000 opening, closing 10 lakhs. Depreciation charged on plant and machinery 50,000. Depreciation charged on plant and machinery 50,000. And planted machinery with book value of 60,000 was sold for 40,000 rupees. I think simple thing is that if you look into it, 40,000 is a cash receipt from sale of planted machinery, that has been given here. Okay, we can see that This cash receipt, whatever you are having, is the plant and machinery sold. This is cash receipt from sale of plant and machinery, 40,000 rupees. Simple word, this is sale proceeds. Am I right? Sale proceeds is inflow. This is inflow. Inflow. Now, you look at the investments. 4 lakhs, 1 lakh. No investment was sold during the year. If you look at the investment, long-term investment, 40,000 in the beginning, 1 lakh is at the end. Are you following, all of you? Investment long term, 40 has become 1 lakh rupees, and this is investment. And you got any investment information here? So 40, and actually this has been written as 60,000. Sorry, I was looking at this. So how you got cash payment to acquire investment? Closing balance, that is 1 lakh minus 40,000. This is outflow. Are you following? The difference between 40 and 1 lakh. Because no purchase, no sale. I think without opening ledger account we can do it. It's a waste of time of opening ledger account. Now land was sold at a profit of 60,000. So land was sold at a profit means this is book value. We are assuming this as a book value. This is a book value. Book value. So if you look at it, the book value of land sold, if you look at it, 2 lakhs is opening balance, 1 lakh is closing balance, 1 lakh is the book value sold. To that they are adding, what is that? 60,000 profit they are adding. So 1 lakh plus 60, 1 lakh 60,000. This is 1 lakh 60,000. This is the receipt from sale of land. So 2 lakhs is the book value. This is book value in the beginning. This is book value at the end. This is opening. This is closing. Okay, so book value of land sold is how much? Land sold is how much? 1 lakh. And then to that, what is that you have added? Profit. It has been given. Land was sold at a profit of 60,000. So I'll do one thing. I'll be giving this as a note here. This tutorial note. Sale proceeds of land opening book value of land minus closing book value of land (2 lakhs) is opening, closing 1 lakh. Book value of land sold. This book value also can be called as written down value. 1 lakh. To this you are adding profit. This also can be done by opening which account? Ledger account also. I think for 1 or 2 small things, avoid opening ledger account because time consuming. This is sale proceeds. Sale proceeds is inflow, no? Okay. Okay. Now, so I think investment is completed now. Investment also has been completed. Investment, how you got it is clear to you. And investment, because 40,000 has become 1 lakh means 60,000 purchase is outflow. This is inflow, no? Inflow, this is outflow. Inflow is to be, outflow is, put it in brackets, is it's going out. Inflow, just simply we are writing without writing anything. Inflow is to be added, outflow is to be subtracted. Whatever the items we are subtracting, we are putting it in brackets. Okay. Next one. Next one. Let us see the next one. Investment is completed, land. Depreciation. Then plant and machinery with a book value of 60,000 was sold for 40,000. Okay, that 40,000 we got it already. Plant and machinery book value sold. It has been given. Plant and machinery book value 60,000 sold for 40,000 means I have told you as a receipt. Now, when you open plant and machinery account, sometimes you may also might have purchased. This you have done in single entry. So let us see that information here. They opened plant and machinery account. This is opening balance. That this is sale proceeds. Sale. This 40,000 has been given here. Plant and machinery with a book value of 60,000 sold for 40 means 20,000 is the loss, no? 60,000 worth of plant and machinery was sold for 40 means 20,000 loss you are getting. So loss on sale of plant and machinery 20,000. And depreciation on plant and machinery charge is 50,000. You know the ledger account, asset account, depreciation. Opening balance here, sale, loss, depreciation, closing balance. Difference is balancing figure is purchase of plant and machinery. That means in this case, in this problem, we are having purchase of plant and machinery as well as sale of plant and machinery. When you are selling the plant and machinery, you will be getting sometimes profit. Profit is there, you will be writing on the debit side. Loss is there, you will be writing on the credit side. You have learned the asset account, my dear friends. I have detailedly explained you in single entry chapter. If anybody is having the doubt, you can look into single entry. When I was explaining single entry topic, I was referring to that. These adjust accounts will be useful for you to understand the cash flow statement. Okay. So I think this information we have already taken into inflow cash flow statement. Now this will be taken to where? Cash flow statement. Now this purchase is nothing but outflow. This is outflow, no? Whenever you purchase is an outflow. Whenever you sell is an inflow. That is what has been given here. You can see that. Cash payment acquire plant and machinery note 1 2,60,000 is a outflow from working notes 1 we got. Cash receipt from plant and sale of plant and machinery. Already sale proceeds I have told you. How much we got it? 40,000. Okay. And about this I have already told you. Cash payment to investments. Cash payment acquired investment is the comparison between opening balance and closing balance. How you got, sir? 40,000 minus 1,60,000 is outflow. Okay. Now finally if you look at it, net cash flow from investing activities is negative because your payments are more than receipts. This is how you need to do it. Okay. Then we will move on to one more problem to discuss with this. Illustration number 7. From the following information, calculate net cash flows from investing activities. Also calculate the amount of depreciation which is to be adjusted in arriving at the net cash flows from operating activities. From the following information, calculate net cash flows from investing activities. Also calculate the amount of depreciation which is to be adjusted in arriving at net cash flows from operating activities. Now, excuse me, what is the problem here? They are asking calculate the net cash flows from investing activities. Also calculate the amount of depreciation which is to be adjusted in arriving net cash flows from operating activities. Now I think this problem is about basically is about cash flow from investing activities. But what they are saying, the depreciation which is to be adjusted Also calculate the amount of depreciation which is to be adjusted in arriving net cash flow from operating activities. Sir, what is the meaning of this? See, we need the depreciation that has been charged to profit and loss account. Meaning is that depreciation charged to P&L account. Why? We have seen the last class problem. Net cash flow from operating activities under indirect method. We need to net profit. We need to add back depreciation. No, if you don't get the depreciation amount, can you go back and find out the net cash flow from operating activities? So I've told you, even in the previous problem which we have worked out, if anything which has been adjusted to P&L account other than operating activities has to be either subtracted or added to get operating activities, then those things will be taken at appropriate activities heading. What do you mean by appropriate activities heading? If depreciation on asset, fixed asset, like in this case machinery, we add to, because depreciation is a non-cash outflow, no? Depreciation we need to add there to get which one? Net cash flow from operating activities. But the depreciation we may need to find out either cash payment to acquire machinery or cash receipt from sale of machinery. For us to prepare machinery account also we need that information. That is what is asking about it. So I need depreciation. Sir, last problem depreciation has been given, but sometimes depreciation they are not giving. But that is important. I told you, I was explaining right from CA foundation, telling you that the concept of accumulated depreciation account is very, very important. I think by this time you are good in it. Hire purchase, I have told you, accumulated depreciation concept is important. Claim for loss of stock, I have told you, accumulated depreciation is important. Single entry, I have told you, accumulated depreciation is important. And also, branch accounts also sometimes accumulated depreciation account is important. Right? And as a cash flow statement is important. In depreciation chapter CA foundation you have learned. Okay, we'll see that. Which year? This current year 17. Current year is 2017. Previous year is 2016. During the year 2017, a machinery costing 50,000, accumulated depreciation 20,000 was sold for 26,000. I think sold for 26,000 is a receipt, straightforward point. We did not discuss that if it has been taken. Sale, cash receipt from sale of machinery. This receipt is inflow straight away has been given. But the problem is that this, whenever accumulated depreciation has been given, asset account is continued to be appearing at what price? Cost price. I told you already. Whenever accumulated depreciation account is being maintained, accumulated depreciation account is maintained. I am repeating once again. Whenever accumulated depreciation, or it is also called as provision for depreciation account. Whenever this account is being maintained, asset account is always to be taken at which value? Cost price. So during the year 2017, a machinery costing 50,000 was sold for 50,000, so to 26,000. It means out of 5 lakhs, 50,000 was sold. Accumulated depreciation is how much? To 20,000. I think without opening account you can easily tell. 5 lakhs minus 50. 450. 450 has become 550. That means during the year what is the cash payment acquired machinery? 1 lakh. Simple, straightforward, if you can understand you can able to get it. Simple logic. 5 lakhs, no? 5 lakhs minus 50,000. 50,000 worth of machinery sold, cost price of top we are talking about. So 5 lakh cost price. Sold part is cost price 50. 5 lakhs minus 50, 450. 450 minus 550. 1 lakh is cash payment acquired machinery. If you can able to understand straight away you can do it. But I think this also can be done by opening which account? Machinery account. And this problem has been created in this material to tell you we also sometimes need to calculate depreciation. No? So for that purpose I think that everything has been taken into consideration. Then I think you can easily understand. We also need to open machinery account to find out the purchase of additional machinery, you'll be, you know how you got it, 1 lakh. If you open machinery account, how can you get it? I think that is what we are discussing. I think 50,000 is the cost price, accumulated depreciation up to the date of sale. So to compare profit or loss, what we'll be doing, 50,000 minus 20. What is the book value of machinery sold? 30,000. 30,000 was sold for 26,000. That means you are getting a loss of 4,000. That I think you can see here. Loss you got it, no? How you got the loss? I told you already. 50,000 minus 20,000. Accumulated depreciation, depreciation charged on machinery part sold. 50 minus 20, 30. 30,000 machineries was sold for 26. Therefore, you got a loss of 4,000. Accumulated depreciation has been given 20. Bank is how much? 26. So totally, if you look in the total, you are getting how much? 50,000. And what is the opening balance here? 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs. And what is closing balance? Cost price. This is cost price, no? Not book value, cost price. This is cost price. Now closing balance. If you see, the balancing figure is 1 lakh. Clear to all of you? This 1 lakh has been taken. Now next, we need to go for now accumulated depreciation part. Accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation opening balance is how much has been given? Just a minute. You look at the accumulated depreciation, will show which balance? Credit balance. 1 lakh rupees. And this is opening balance. This is closing balance. Let us see. This is by balance brought down. This is opening balance. It has been written as, because accumulated depreciation shows which balance? Credit balance. This is closing balance. Okay. Now, what is the depreciation that has been calculated on the machinery sold part? 20,000. This is depreciation on sold part. On sold one. Now you can see 190 minus 190. This is your balancing figure. By opening accumulated depreciation, we were able to find out current year depreciation. What is current year depreciation, my dear friend? 90,000. I think you all are aware when accumulated depreciation account is being opened, the depreciation up to the date of sale is closed by transferring to which account, my dear friends? Asset account. The entry is accumulated depreciation account at R to asset account. I have told you, accumulated depreciation account will be closed to the extent on the machinery that has been sold. What is the machinery that has been sold? 20,000 rupees. 20,000 rupees. The machinery that has been sold is 50,000. What is the accumulated depreciation on that? 20,000. I think these things you have learned in the chapter called as depreciation. This I have explained you number of times at various levels. Okay. I repeat once again, what is the entry for accumulated depreciation, my dear friends? You see, P&L account at R to accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation, that is every year you will be writing the entry. When accumulated depreciation is closed, when it is being closed, when asset is sold, then the entry will be accumulated depreciation to machinery account, or you are learning hire purchase one problem. Last problem of our study material. We have written the entry accumulated depreciation account at R to asset disposal account also. Here we are not opening asset disposal account. Otherwise, if you open asset disposal account, this can be transferred to asset disposal account. So this is balancing figure. Okay, 90,000. So when you are going under indirect method to find out net cash flow from operating activities, this depreciation is to be added. This has been given. 90,000 note 2 is to be adjusted in respect of depreciation in arriving at net cash from operating activities. Under which method, my dear friend? Under indirect method. Direct method, I don't need depreciation. In the examination, most of the problems are based on indirect method. Okay. I think these two are clear to you. Now let me take you to net cash from financing activities. In this section, this is from the issue of shares, both equity and preference, and debentures, loans, notes, bonds, and other short or long term borrowings, as well as repayment of loans, redemption of preference shares, and debentures are included. Dividends paid in interest paid in case of non financing enterprise. When somebody was asking that out in the last class, I came to know about financing activities. Sir, why can't we take the investment as a cash and cash equivalents? I have given clearly note to consider investment, short-term investment as cash and cash equivalents. I think we should understand that any marketable securities, which is to be short-term activities, which is to be realized within a period of 3 months. I think the example of last class which we have seen was for more than 3 months. Is this clear? I think this is very important. Okay, so coming back to this now. Okay, next, net cash from investing activities. In this, as I told you, these things we discussed. Dividends paid and interest paid in case of non-financing enterprise are also included in this section. Dividend paid and interest paid in case of non-financing. For financing enterprises, it becomes operating, are included in this section. It is important to note that an increase in shares due to a bonus issue will not be shown on the cash flow statement, since it's a capitalization of reserves and not an issue for cash. I think financing activities will not include which one? Bonus issue. When shares are issued at premium, the cash flow statement will reflect the total cash generated by issue, face value of shares plus any premium. That means premium also will be taken as financing activities. We repeat once again: issue of shares, both equity and preference, debentures, loans, notes, bonds, and other short or long term borrowings, as well as repayment of loans, redemption of preference shares, and debentures are included under which activities? Financing activities. Dividend paid and interest paid in case of non-financing enterprise are also included including this section. If it is financing enterprise, these two will be taken as operating. Since it is a non-financing enterprise, dividend is coming under financing activities. Okay, and bonus issue will not be taken as cash flow, because it is only capitalization of reserves. And one more point you should remember: whenever shares have been issued at a premium, that premium is also being taken as investing activities. Let us see the problem now. From the following information, calculate net cash flows from financing activities. Equity share capital 4 lakhs, opening closing 5 lakhs. 12% debentures, opening 1 lakh 50, closing 1 lakh. Security premium, opening 40, closing 50. Additional information: interest paid on debentures. I think now they are asking us to prepare net cash flows from financing activities. It's very simple. Now you can see 4 lakhs is the equity share capital beginning, and 5 lakhs. Security premium 40 and 50. If you look into it, let me write here. Equity share capital inflow. Opening 4 lakhs. Closing 5 lakhs. So there is an increase by how much? Equity share capital always taken at face value, no? This is face value from new issue. And similarly we are having premium. Now this is including premium, I'm writing. Next, here I am writing premium. Opening how much? 40,000. Closing how much? 50,000. It is coming to how much? 10,000. This 10,000 is premium on fresh issue. If you add, total is how much? 1 lakh plus 10,000 including premium. You can see here. Cash proceeds from issue of shares including premium. Clear to all of you? 1,10,000. From how you got it, 1,10,000 is clear. The next one, look at the debentures. 1,50,000 is the debentures opening. What is closing? 1 lakh. So therefore repayment of debentures is how much? 50,000. You can see here. 1,50,000 is opening debentures, and what is closing debentures? 1 lakh. So therefore cash payment to debentures is how much? 50,000. And interest paid on debentures also will be taken as outflow. No, it is how much has been given? 18,000. So what is net cash flow from financing activities? 42,000. Okay. Now let us take one more example. X Limited provide the following information. Calculate the net cash flows from financing activities. X Limited provide the following information. Calculate the net cash flows from financing activities. Here 5 lakhs is opening. Closing is how much equity share capital? 6 lakhs. Okay. Now, I think whenever you suddenly look into it, you feel like previous problem. No, sir. Previous problem we have seen where 4 lakhs minus 5 lakhs means 1 lakh is issue of shares. So, fresh issue. So, you assume that same 5 lakhs minus 6 lakhs is again like 1 lakh is issue. But I think unless you read the complete problem, you can't come to a conclusion. So, look at this. During their 17, X Limited issued bonus share in the ratio of 5:1 by capitalizing reserve. That means for every 5 shares, one bonus share. Therefore 5 lakhs. Bonus means 5 lakh by 5, 1 lakh. So this 1 lakh rupees is bonus issue. No, we have already discussed bonus issue will not be considered for cash flow. So this 1 lakh rupees increase is due to bonus issue. I told you bonus issue is nothing but by capitalization of reserves. Therefore bonus issue will not be considered as cash outflow. Then debentures 1 lakh 2016. Here you don't have anything. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Debentures has been redeemed. Then these are 14% debentures redeemed. So therefore entire 1 lakh is a cash outflow. 12% debentures 2017. You don't have in 2016. That means this is redeemed in current year. CY means current year. Here issued in current year. What is issued in current year? This is 2 lakhs. This is receipt. This is payment, outflow. Now here it is equity share capital, bonus issue. Bonus issued in current year. In neither cash inflow nor cash outflow. Interest paid on debentures is an outflow. Dividend paid is an outflow. I think you can see simple problem. Cash proceeds from issue of debentures 2 lakhs. Clear to all of you? We have seen no here 2 lakhs. Cash payment debentures, I have already told you 1 lakh. Then interest paid 19,000. Dividend paid 50,000. So what is net cash flow from financing activities? 31. Please remember, net cash flow from financing activities can be positive or negative. Bonus shares is not shown in cash flow statement because there is no cash inflow. Okay, I think you got some clarity on these two things also, my dear friends. We were discussing about we were discussing about um, we have discussed about rather sorry we have discussed about the cash flow from today's class, cash flow from financing activities, and also we have discussed cash flow from investing activities. First we have started with cash flow from investing activities, and we have seen cash flow from financing activities. Then I just will be giving like a format to prepare which one, cash flow statement overall, having covering all those three things, right? How we need to work out. I think in the beginning, for beginners, I think this will be useful. Maybe that is why I have taken this also. Suggested steps for preparation of cash flow statement. The students may follow the following suggested steps for preparation of cash flow statements from given balance sheet with some adjustments. Set up the requirement format in blank. Set up the requirement format in blank, leaving space to insert details. I think with practically possible or not, just you leave one full page, that's it. Use one complete sheet for the statement and another for working note, that's it. When you start problem, one full page you leave it for cash flow statement. Study the additional information below the balance sheet and mark the related items in the balance sheet. If like you look into it. Suppose here bonus shares is there, you mark it. Or else here previous problem. Eighth one. Here we don't have any information, no need to mark. Or you go back here. Machinery account. We got some information, no? I think you mark that there is some adjustment like that. You need to mark the information. Got it, all of you? Then go through the balance sheet line by line from the top. For many items, you simply have to calculate the difference between opening and closing and enter it to the format as inflow and outflow of cash. There will be some problem items requiring further work. These are sale of fixed assets, taxation, dividends. For these items, you open ledger account, insert the opening and closing balances and leave it for the time being. You will come back to these workings after you have transferred every item from the balance sheet to your answer. Then we can get the missing information. That is we have seen while preparing which account, machinery account here. Okay, like that he is talking about. Then complete all the workings, transfer the relevant figures to maintain statement, to main the main statement. Complete the main statement. I think this is not required for you to buy hard. When you work out the problems, you'll be getting an idea. Right. Let us start with the format of cash flow statement. We write the name of the company limited, cash flow statement for the year ended 31st March 18 or 31st March 19, whatever it may be. Then cash flow from operating activities. Generally we are going for what is that I told you, my dear friends. We will be working out this following indirect method. Operating activities, generally the format has been given for which one? This is for indirect method. This cash flow from operating activities given here is indirect method. You also can do direct method. Generally when balance sheet etc. information is given, P&L account is given, I am repeating, I am giving you hint to you, whenever they are giving you P&L account, balance sheet and other information, opening balance sheet, closing balance sheet, P&L account statement, and nowadays they are giving P&L statement. Previously they used to give P&L account horizontal format. Now they will be giving P&L account statement with notes to accounts. Please remember, by 100% you should go for indirect method. Only like if they are giving cash sales, opening data, closing data or something information without having profit and loss account, then cash flow from operating activities is direct method. Generally, if a small question, separate question, you can expect cash flow from operating activities, specifically they are asking you direct method. Otherwise, we will be going for indirect method. I think I have told you already, depreciation is not cash outflow. The tangible asset, it is to be added. Goodwill written off, intangible asset, it is to be added. Preliminary expenses written off from P&L account is to be added because it is not cash outflow of operating activities, not cash outflow actually. And similarly, interest expenses for long-term loan debentures, this is to be added here, and then it is to be taken at appropriate heading where Tell me, investment from financing activities. Interest paid, dividend paid. Here we take these two things. We'll be adding back because it is not operating activities. That means two things you should remember here. In this format, in this case, we are having non-cash flow items and plus cash flow items relating to other activities. These depreciation, goodwill, preliminary expenses, these all are non-cash flow. Interest expenses, proposed dividend. Actually, now we are talking about dividend payable, no? Proposed dividend is being called a dividend payable. Loss on sale of investment is a non-cash flow. But why dividend payable or dividend paid, interest expense, these will be taken to where? My dear friends, tell me. Will be taken to other activities. Okay, so non-cash flow items plus cash flow items relating to other activities. Everything is to be adjusted to find out cash flow from operating activities. Then these are the things which will increase your inflow. And then less profit on sale of investments. Profit will increase your net profit, no? Profit on sale of investment assets is to be taken to which account, which activity? Investing activities, to find out the sale proceeds of assets sold. Interest income from long-term investment. Here, because you have taken in statement of P&L account under other income, but this will be taken at appropriate heading. It will go to where? Tell me, financing activity. Dividend income from long-term investment, it will be taken to where? Financing activity. But it is not operating activity, that is where you are subtracting. So two things you should remember. Net cash flow items, let me put it the bracket, extend this. Non-cash flow items plus cash flow item related to other activities. These all have been taken as in payment. Now payments have been added. And income that has been added has been subtracted to find out. Tell me. To find out cash generated from operations before working capital changes. And in the last class we had this detailed discussion on this. Decrease in debtors or increase in debtors, decrease in stock or increase in stock. We have learned about these things. Do you remember, all of you? In which chapter we have learned? Operating. Before I have taken to operating activities under direct method, we have discussed it, no? Stock, decrease in stock, increase in cash flow. Here written. Decrease in debtors. Decrease in debtors. Decrease in debtor means increase in cash flow. Increase in debtors. What will happen? Increase in debtors. If it is increase in debtors, decrease in cash flow. That is what has been given. So here they have given you decrease in debtors is to be added. Increase in debtors in bracket they have given. In bracket they have given means it is to be subtracted. Decrease in debtors means inflow increases. Decrease in stock increases inflow. Decrease in bills receivable increase in inflow. Decrease in prepaid expenses increase in inflow. Increase in creditors increases. Increase in creditors, what will happen? Increase in inflow. This reasoning I have given. If anybody is having the doubt, you go back and listen to my audio of previous class. Reasoning also I have given. Increase in bills payable will increase your inflow. Increase in outstanding expenses. I told you, increase in creditors, increase in bills payable, increase in outstanding expenses. For the time being, you are able to save some money. You are postponing the payment. What happens? The cash inflow will increase. If you are making payment, cash outflow will decrease. Decrease in creditors. You are making payment, no. it's a cash outflow. Decrease in payable, cash outflow. Decrease in outstanding expenses, cash outflow, like that. Increase in debtors. What is increase in debtors means? They are postponing, customers are postponing the payment. Your amount has been blocked. Increase in stock, you purchased additional stock. So amount has been blocked. So there is a decrease in cash flow. You need to make a payment. Increase in bills receivable, customers are blocking that. I think that is why cash outflow. Is this clear? So I think these are things which you should understand. So decrease in debtors, increase in debtors, whatever brackets has been given, these all are outflows. These all are inflows. Okay. Then we will be getting cash generated from operations, and to that you need to add income tax paid. Income tax paid is also to be adjusted. Then net cash from operating activities. Then we will be getting profit or loss from extraordinary activities. When you are looking at the profit or loss from extraordinary activities, my dear friends, first you should understand what is extraordinary activities. Expected not to occur frequently or regularly. Okay, so we can say expected not to occur frequently means like claims from insurance company due to earthquake is extraordinary, and similarly bad debts recovered. Bad debts you are written off. You are not expecting the bad debts to be recovered. You can take as an extraordinary activity. So sometimes claim from insurance company for loss of stock or loss of profit. This also can be taken as extraordinary activity. But please remember, this should be disclosed separately as arising from operating, investing or financing activity. It can be anywhere. So that is why what they have done here, net cash from operating activities, it can be operating, it can be investing, it can be, that is why they have written profit or loss. If profit is there, you should add, loss is there, you should subtract. That means you are getting profit on that, means compensation has been received, you add. If loss is there, you should be adjusting it. I think this, when situation comes, I will be explaining on this, right? The next one. We will be discussing this about when problem comes, you will be having more clarity on this. But I have given the meaning of, what is the meaning of extraordinary items? Cash flow from operating activities. A purchase of fixed asset. You know that purchase of fixed asset is outflow. Purchase of investment is outflow. Proceeds from sale of fixed assets is inflow. Proceeds from sale of investment is inflow. Interest received is inflow. Dividend received is inflow. Is this clear? Then net cash from investing. So this is cash flow from investing activities. Then you are getting net cash from investing activities. Cash flow from financing activity. Proceeds from issue of shares including premium is an inflow. Proceeds from long-term loans, long-term borrowings, inflow. Proceeds from issue of debentures is an inflow, long-term. Redemption of preference shares, outflow. Redemption of debentures, outflow. Repayment of loans, outflow. Interest paid, outflow. Dividend paid, outflow. Then we are getting net cash from financing activities. Now here, if you look at all those things, which one here? Net cash flow from net cash from operating activities, then net cash from investing activities, net cash from financing activities, then net increase in cash and cash equivalents, the net effect. And to that, what is that we shall add? Cash and cash equivalent at the beginning of the period. After adding net increase in cash and cash equivalents, we are getting it, and then cash and cash equivalents at the beginning of the period. I'll give a small example. Suppose this is 100. Say this is minus 50. Okay, and this is, let us say, 200 positive. Net cash from operating after all adjustments. Net cash from investing activities after all adjustments. And then net cash from finance activity positive. 100 minus 50, 50. 50 plus 200, 250. Here you will be writing 250. This is net increase in cash and cash equivalents. Cash and cash equivalents at the beginning of the period, say 50. So what is your closing cash equivalent? 300. That means opening balance, closing balance difference is how much? 250. This 250 is the net increase in cash and cash equivalent. Sometimes you may also get the negative value. If negative value, you will be getting, what will happen? Say for example, if it is 40, 50 minus 40, you will be getting 10 negative. Is this clear? I think the way, if it is 60, sorry, not, it is 60. See, this is 250, no? Let me take example, this is 50. You are having 10. Negative 40, there is a possibility. That means for opening 50 minus net decrease in cash and cash equivalents, it can be, we write net increase only, it can be outflow or inflow, a negative amount or positive amount. If it is 10 negative, so 50 is the beginning of the period, negative because of negative in value, that is outflows are more than inflows, your closing balance is 40. You may also have information like this. So in this case 250 is inflows, net increase in cash and cash equivalents, inflows. This is opening balance. Opening balance plus this will become the closing balance. Generally, these two values are having the problem itself. I think when you are working out the solution without doing the problem, you should get an answer 300 minus 50, 250 you should get. Got it? Unless he won't be giving you cash and cash equivalents at the end. But I think answer you will be knowing. Only where you may do mistake in the examination, this topic is simple. You may do a mistake in taking the activity under appropriate heading. I think that you need a lot of practice. When you work out 6 to 7 problems on this overall comprehensive, I think this will do a favor. This will do good for you for preparation, right? Okay, we will continue our discussion and we keep on discussing the things which we have covered in the previous classes also. I think definitely this will be useful to you. Thank you very much. God bless you all. We will meet in the next class.